I'm Margaret Campbell, and I have to be direct. There are millions of Canadian seniors who are unknowingly walking away from thousands of dollars in pension benefits every single year, and the government isn't going to call you to point it out. There's a hidden truth about your old age security, OAS pension, that almost no one understands, especially if you have ever lived or worked outside of Canada for any period of time. You might believe that because you don't have the full 10, 20, or even 40 years of Canadian residency, you are completely disqualified from receiving a single dollar. This one misunderstanding, this one piece of buried information, could be costing you a monthly check that you have rightfully earned through a lifetime of work. This isn't about finding a loophole. It's about claiming what is yours under complex international rules. The money is just sitting there, unclaimed, because good, hardworking people assume the door is closed. It's not. As a financial advocate who has spent years navigating the maze of government pension programs for seniors, my mission is simple: to arm you with the critical knowledge the system doesn't readily volunteer. I've seen firsthand how the intentional complexity of these rules causes retirees to lose out on benefits they are owed, month after month. The government's publications are dense and confusing, and the fine print is where your financial security can be won or lost. I'm not here to offer generic advice. I'm here to be your guide through this bureaucratic fog, to translate the legal jargon into clear, actionable steps. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on Canada's social security agreements. I'm going to reveal how these little-known pacts with dozens of other countries can unlock OAS benefits you thought were completely out of reach. Think of me as your truth teller, committed to ensuring you get every single dollar you are entitled to. For years, I've dedicated my professional life to one single purpose: mastering the intricate and often infuriating web of Canadian retirement benefits. I'm not a government employee, and I'm certainly not here to sell you a complicated financial product. I am an independent advocate for seniors, someone who has sat across the desk from countless hardworking people just like you, people who feel overwhelmed by the paperwork, confused by the jargon, and deeply worried that they're not getting a fair shake from the very system they paid into their entire lives. I understand that feeling of being talked down to, or worse, completely ignored. My role is to be your unwavering ally, your guide who has already mapped out the bureaucratic maze and knows exactly where the traps are hidden. My mission here on this channel is to be your translator and your shield. I take the dense language of the Income Tax Act, the convoluted rules for CPP and OAS, and the easily missed details about the Guaranteed Income Supplement, GIS, and I break them all down into plain, simple English that you can act on today. This isn't just about sharing information. It is about empowerment. It is about giving you the clarity and the confidence to ask the right questions, to fill out the forms correctly, and to claim every single dollar you are rightfully owed. Think of me as your personal guard against the complexity that costs seniors their peace of mind. Together, we will ensure your retirement is defined by security and dignity, not by bureaucratic headaches and financial worry. To get this vital money into your bank account, you need a clear map. We're going to break this down into 3 critical points that will demystify the entire process. First, I'll explain exactly what these Social Security agreements are and how you can use the time you lived abroad to meet the minimum residency requirement for OAS, the key that unlocks a benefit you thought was lost forever. Second, I will reveal the crucial catch that nobody ever talks about: the massive difference between qualifying for the pension and the actual amount of money you will receive. Understanding this distinction is absolutely essential to managing your budget and your expectations. And third, I'll walk you through the practical steps of how to apply and, most importantly, expose a major financial trap for anyone who has ever worked in the United States. Each step is designed to empower you and prevent costly mistakes. This information is your financial shield, but the rules of the game can change and new pitfalls can emerge. To ensure you never miss out on vital updates that could affect your retirement income, I urge you to take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. It's a simple click, but it's the first and most important step in building a defense against losing the money you've worked so hard for. Consider it your personal alert system, a way to guarantee that you are always equipped with the latest knowledge to protect your financial future. Let's not waste another moment leaving money on the table that rightfully belongs in your pocket. Let's begin with the key that opens the door. Let's dig into the gold mine, Canada's Social Security agreements. In simple terms, Canada has deals with over 60 other countries to help citizens coordinate their pension benefits. The most powerful and most overlooked feature of these agreements is that they can help you qualify for the old age security pension even if you fall far short of the residency requirements on your own. The standard rule is that you must have lived in Canada for at least 10 years after turning 18 to receive any OAS pension at all. If you live abroad, that requirement jumps to 20 years. This single rule disqualifies thousands of people, especially immigrants or Canadians who spent a significant part of their career in another country. But these agreements create a bridge. They allow you to combine your periods of residence in Canada with periods of creditable periods in a partner country to meet that 10-year threshold. This simple action unlocks the door to a partial OAS pension that you would have otherwise forfeited forever. Let's look at a real-world example. Consider a gentleman I'll call Antonio. He's 64 years old, lives in Vaughan, Ontario, and is getting ready to apply for his government pensions. He immigrated from Italy many years ago, but because of when he arrived, he only has 8 years of residency in Canada since his 18th birthday. Under normal rules, 8 years is less than 10, so he would be entitled to exactly $0 in OAS payments. He would simply be told he doesn't qualify. However, Canada has a robust Social Security agreement with Italy. Antonio lived and contributed to the pension system in Italy for over 30 years before moving here. By applying for OAS and indicating his time in Italy on the application, he uses the agreement to bridge the gap. His 8 years in Canada plus his time in Italy easily push him over the 10-year qualification threshold. The government confirms his history with the Italian authorities, and just like that, he is approved for an OAS pension he thought was impossible to get. This is not a loophole, it is the law. You must proactively check if Canada has an agreement with the country where you lived or worked. You can find the full list on the Government of Canada's website, and it includes major partners like the United States, the United Kingdom, Portugal, Greece, the Philippines, and many countries in the Caribbean and Europe. The key is that you must apply for the OAS and declare this foreign history. Service Canada will not do this detective work for you. Unlocking this benefit is a game changer, turning a potential $0 per month into a steady, reliable income stream for the rest of your life. But now we come to the most critical part of this entire process, the catch that the government brochures don't highlight with a big red arrow. Using an agreement helps you qualify for the pension, but it does not increase the amount of your payment. Understanding this distinction is the difference between sound financial planning and a major retirement shock. I'll explain exactly what that means for your bank account next. This is the critical part that trips up almost everyone, the catch that the government brochures don't highlight with a big red arrow. While these Social Security agreements are a powerful tool to get you qualified for an OAS pension, they do absolutely nothing to increase the amount of money you will receive. This is the most common and costly misunderstanding. Your OAS pension payment is, and always will be, calculated based only on the number of years you actually resided in Canada. Let's go back to our example of Antonio. He used the agreement with Italy to meet the 10-year qualification threshold with his 8 years of Canadian residency. He will get an OAS pension, but that pension will be calculated as 8/40ths of a full pension. He does not get credit for his 30 years in Italy in the payment calculation itself. The government's logic is cold and simple. You only get paid by Canada for the time you were here. It is not a giant windfall, but it is a steady monthly payment that he is owed and would have otherwise missed entirely. The financial danger here lies in mistaken expectations. Many people hear, "You can combine your time," and assume that means their entire international work history will count towards a bigger Canadian pension. They build their retirement budget around this false assumption, only to face a severe shock when their first OAS payment arrives and it's a fraction of what they anticipated. Imagine a woman I'll call Maria, who has 6 years of residency in Canada and 25 years of work in Portugal. She qualifies for OAS through the agreement, but her payment is only 6/40ths of a full pension, a few $100s, not the 1,000+ she might have been expecting. Service Canada processed her application correctly, but they are not in the business of financial counseling. The system is passive. It will not call you to manage your expectations or to explain this crucial nuance before you make irreversible retirement decisions. You are expected to know this rule, which is buried deep in their technical manuals. And here's another detail that makes understanding this rule even more critical. Once you are approved for a partial OAS pension, that fractional rate is generally locked in for good. If Antonio starts receiving his 8/40ths pension at age 65 and then continues living in Canada for another 10 years until he is 75, his pension will not automatically increase to 18/40ths. He will continue to receive the same 8/40ths payment, adjusted for inflation, for the rest of his life. To get credit for additional years of residency after your OAS has started, there are specific proactive steps you must take, including canceling your pension and reapplying later, which comes with its own set of complex rules and potential risks. The system does not automatically reward your continued residency. This is a massive pitfall that can cost you thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement, all because you assumed the system was designed to automatically give you what you deserve. It is not. You must be the one to act. So, how do you actually claim this money? The path to getting your OAS pension approved requires you to be proactive. The most efficient way to apply is through your online My Service Canada account, which allows you to track the status of your application. However, a paper application is always available if you prefer. The most crucial piece of advice I can give you is to apply early, at least 6 to 12 months before you turn 65, or wish for the payments to begin. Why so far in advance? Because any application that involves a Social Security agreement takes much longer for the government to process. Service Canada must contact the pension authority in the other country to verify your history, and this back and forth between international bureaucracies can be painfully slow. Acting now versus waiting until the last minute is the difference between having your payments start on time and facing months of delay and financial uncertainty, all while the money you're owed sits unclaimed in government accounts. Now, for the major financial trap I warned you about. And this is a critical alert for anyone who has ever worked in the United States. You must be aware of a rule called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP. Crucially, this is an American rule, not a Canadian one, but it directly affects your retirement income here in Canada. The WEP is designed to reduce your U.S. Social Security benefit if you also receive a pension from work where you didn't pay into the U.S. Social Security system, such as your Canada Pension Plan, CPP. Imagine you meticulously plan your retirement budget based on receiving your full U.S. Social Security check and your full CPP check, only to discover at the last minute that your American benefit is going to be slashed by hundreds of dollars every month. This isn't a possibility. For many, it's a certainty. This nasty surprise can completely derail your financial security, turning a comfortable plan into a constant struggle. The shock of the WEP can throw your entire retirement into chaos, but it can be managed if you see it coming. There are some exceptions. For instance, the reduction is less severe if you have 20 years of substantial earnings in the U.S., and it's eliminated entirely if you have 30 or more years. But you cannot afford to assume you are exempt. Here is your immediately actionable tip. Before you even think about applying for CPP, go to the U.S. Social Security Administration's website and find their WEP online calculator. By inputting your earnings history, you can get an estimate of how much your U.S. benefit will be reduced. This knowledge is power. It allows you to adjust your budget and your CPP start date accordingly, maintaining control over your finances. Not doing this is like navigating a minefield blindfolded. Taking 10 minutes to use that calculator is the shield that protects you from a sudden and devastating drop in your expected retirement income. Let's quickly recap the life-changing information we've covered. First, your time living and working in one of Canada's more than 60 partner countries can be combined with your time here to help you qualify for the Old Age Security Pension, even if you don't meet the 10-year residency minimum on your own. Second, you must remember the crucial catch. This only helps you qualify. The actual dollar amount of your pension is still based strictly and solely on your years of residency in Canada, and this fraction is often locked in once payments start. And third, you must apply proactively and well in advance. And if you have a U.S. work history, you absolutely must investigate the windfall elimination provision to avoid a nasty and permanent financial shock. The system is not designed to hold your hand. It is up to you to step forward and claim what you are owed. You have worked your entire life, and you deserve financial security and peace of mind. If this information has empowered you, please take a moment to like this video. It's a simple click, but it helps this vital message reach other seniors who are unknowingly leaving their own money on the table. And to ensure you are always protected from the system's hidden complexities, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. It's your best defense, your ongoing shield to protect your finances and secure your family's future. My commitment is to keep you informed and prepared, because your financial dignity is not negotiable. Thank you for your time today. Stay informed and stay protected.